Today on the LA Food Podcast, what's the deal with the cease and desist letters going to Los Angeles pizzerias? Is OpenTable's comeback slowly killing Resy? And was our visit to the LA Times 2024 Restaurant of the Year a chef's kiss or a big miss? Father Saul's with us today to discuss all of that and more, plus where you can try a $750 burger, what Molly Baz is doing to give back to wildfire victims, and an invitation I extended to Bill Esparza that can only be described as ill-advised and reckless. As always, please consider leaving us a rating or review wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm your host, Lucas Servodio, and without further ado, let's chow down. The LA Food Podcast is presented by The Lonely Oyster. Unwind at The Lonely Oyster's Echo Park Night Watch. Did you know that every night is industry night at The Lonely Oyster, dear listener? Stroll in after 10 p.m. nightly for a one-of-a-kind experience designed for the night owls and hospitality pros. Indulge in $12 handshake cocktails, expertly crafted liquid chef concoctions, delicious late-night hot bites, and chef's choice dozen oysters. More than just a place to unwind, The Lonely Oyster warmly welcomes industry professionals, providing a space where like-minded individuals can connect, relax, and enjoy the camaraderie that comes with the late-night scene. Whether you're looking to kick back after a long shift or simply enjoy the vibrant atmosphere, late night at The Lonely Oyster is the perfect rendezvous for those who appreciate good company and great food and drinks. Don't miss this nightly affair and let the good times roll at The Lonely Oyster. Welcoming back to the LA Food Podcast, a man who I am now certain missed his true calling as a Bollywood dancer. Saul, why have you been holding out on us?
Yeah, I forgot she sent you the video. It's true. It's true. For the first time in over a decade, your boy performed some Bollywood dance this weekend at his mother's 60th birthday. Was a bit of a hit? Was a hit? I will say my sister was much better prepared than I was for this performance, and it showed. It showed, but I just about pulled it off.
I don't know, man. When I was out for a run in Palm Springs when I received the video from Emily, and I was fully prepared to just like no mercy roast you, and I have to say, I was actually legitimately impressed. There's this one portion of the dance where you do this little head juke to like the drum.
Oh yeah.
It was like I actually had such little faith in your body's ability to like recognize rhythm and respond to it that I was just so impressed.
I really appreciate that, man. I will also say that dance was at like 9 p.m. after dinner. And I was like, we can't do this after. Like, we're bouncing around and shit. Like, I've just had a steak. And I'm like, doesn't feel great, like, in my stomach. Yeah, no, I will say the funny story behind that was, so we had planned this surprise dance for my mother's birthday party. I had my sister, like, reach out to the dancers. She, like, set it up. They sent us a video, like, a week ago. And I was like, I was traveling to Seattle. I was traveling to Florida. Like, I was all over. And I was like, all right, I'll check this out later. I thought it was gonna be like we hop in at the very end and like pose, right, or like do like 1-2 pose, and then I opened the video literally right before we fly down to Florida for the birthday, and I was like, Isa, what the fuck? This is like I haven't looked at this a single time. This is like 20 steps. Yeah, it was a stressful Friday and Saturday as I like got up to speed, but and it was a good time, man. Appreciate the compliments.
No, I'm genuinely impressed. I mean, you know, Emily did say that she edited the video to only show the highlights, that it wasn't all a great success. But as far as the editing goes, it looked legit, man.
That is the clip that I will only. I need actually to get the clip that she sent you, because that's the only clip I'll send around. She probably could have the part. There was one part where I just forgot what we were doing, and I stood there for like a beat, and then I figured it out again. But you could very much tell, like, everyone's moving, and I'm like, yeah. But anyway, it worked out.
Well, look, speaking of legit, before we dive into things here today, I wanted to quickly give some flowers to the fact that Super Bowl Sunday, you made some pretty good tacos, my man.
Dude, look at this podcast, man. How come all of our podcasts aren't this good?
Just giving you compliments. Yeah. No, this is very much like the only time this is going to happen, and it's because it's relatively close to your birthday.
Wait, my birthday was January 3rd.
Relatively close.
Should I say that? Should I say that publicly? Should we bleep that out? Can someone steal my identity?
Wait, what about your social security number?
But yeah, you're right. You're right. Tacos Super Bowl Sunday. I was a little nervous after your pizza performance. I was like, I put some effort in to pull out something good.
You want to tell the listeners what you made?
We made the sweet potato tacos from Gorilla Tacos, which I cooked through last year. That's my second time making them, and I think they pulled it out well for that. Again, that has an almond habanero salsa. That's like the famous orange salsa, feta, corn nuts with the sweet potatoes on a blue corn tortilla. And then I made a adobo marinated steak, essentially. I think there was like pasilla and guajillo chilies in this marinade from Truly Mexican, my favorite cookbook of all time. Marinated some flap steak, cooked it up for you guys, and made a tomatillo avocado salsa, basic green salsa verde. Yeah.
I have two problems with it, okay, with what you put out. One is now every time I even propose making steak tacos, my wife is going to ask me to make the same marinade. So that's a problem for me because it's much more involved than what I usually do. Secondly, I honestly think you nailed pretty much everything. I think you could have stood to season a little bit more.
Oh, interesting.
That is really apropos, given that is exactly what Tom Colicchio would probably say too.
You're talking about the steak tacos?
No, just in general. I feel like you could have had a little bit of extra salt in your dishes, but other than that,
I thought the steak tacos bordered on almost too. Like for me, I thought it was like pretty on the edge because I salted the steaks pretty heavily and they were thin. The sweet potato tacos for sure. I was actually like as I was serving it, I was like sprinkling just extra salt at the end, which it doesn't work on the sweet potatoes because I totally agree those could have been better seasoned. But I'm glad. Appreciate the feedback. I mean, let's not forget the fact that I also beat your wife in the chocolate chip cookie competition that night. Like
that's true
by a landslide, dude. It's the year of winning, man. Like let's go. I'm ready for 2025.
Yeah, the second part of the evening was that Saul went against my wife in baking chocolate chip cookies, and Emily and I tried them blindfolded, and unanimous decision.
Oh yeah,
you were the victor. I mean, you know what brought it over the edge, right?
The brown butter.
The brown fucking butter, dude. That was a pro move.
Honestly, it's table stakes for a good chocolate chip cookie. Your wife learned something that night. I'm glad she did. To be fair, it wasn't your wife's recipe. It was your wife's friend's recipe. Your wife's friend's younger cousin's recipe. So
younger sister's recipe.
Yeah. So she better listen to this, learn something. If you're not putting brown butter in your chocolate chip cookies, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that was an easy victory. And then to cap it all off, I win the Super Bowl bet. Thank God.
Yeah.
And I get and I douse the chicken nugget in the bomb. I gave you like basically what I had taken, but I was talking to Emily and I was like, you know what? I think the difference might have been the breaded chicken nugget we used from Shake Shack was like the breading was like so crumbly on the outside that I didn't get just like picked up maybe more sauce than I was expecting. And you posted the video. Oh, it was a great day for your boy.
For folks not on social media, you want to tell people what the bomb is?
The bomb is a hot sauce made famous by the YouTube series Hot Ones, and it's the only hot sauce that they've carried throughout the show because even though it's technically not the highest Scoville scale hot sauce that they feed to their celebrity guests, it is by far like experientially the hottest hot sauce, like I think out there, because it's not like a sauce. It's like a condensed like paste,
like a syrup.
Yeah. It's not like actually like it's not made to taste good, right? Like a sriracha. It's like just an intense habanero. So I think the only chili in there, like or the spiciest chili in it. And it just fucking hits like a truck, dude. I took it back in 2019 or something in Seattle. We did it. My legs went numb. My stomach was tingling. Like couldn't talk, couldn't breathe. Right? You just needed to have ice cream in your mouth, or you just was pain. And that's what I gotta watch you experience.
I mean, honestly, my first question for you is why did you want to potentially experience this again after the first horrific experience you had?
So I mean, I really didn't. So Emily and I have watched that Hot Ones show together, and she's been curious about like we have bought the bomb before because I've promised her like we can try it, right? She's like has like a kind of like perverse curiosity, and or I think mostly wants to see me take it and compare how I handle it versus like the people on the show, which would be about the same if not worse. So we've had it in mind as a thing to do, and I don't think your wife knows this, but the bet to take the hot sauce on a super to eat the hot sauce based on the Super Bowl winner, that was Emily's idea, not my idea.
Yeah. Well, it made for excellent content, I will say.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: I did lose the bet, and I ended up eating, as Saul has already alluded to, I will say I'm usually pretty good with spice. I've done spice challenges before, and in the moment when I ate, I one bited it, the entire like chicken nugget doused into bomb.
Yeah.
It hurt. There was a lot of pain, but you did a very humanitarian thing in getting me not one but 2 Shake Shack milkshakes to drink alongside. I felt okay. I genuinely felt okay. Like I was like, obviously like intense pain in the mouth, and you needed like it coated in milkshake at all times in order to not feel the pain. But like it dissipated within probably like 5 to 10 minutes. However, I got way too cocky way too quickly because later that night it came back. It came back to haunt me.
Came back around. I will say, yes, it was a humanitarian move. I kind of like worry. I worry too much about you when we're like doing this shit. I should just let you suffer more because I was really curious. You did handle it well, but because I did not have a milkshake when I took it. And I really wanted to, now in like retrospect, want to know what you would have been like without that safety net.
I would have died.
Yeah. And I wanted to like watch that happen in retrospect. Like in the moment I was like, this could be really bad, and sure enough, it turned out to be really bad. Your wife was so pissed at me, dude. She was texting me, like I could tell she didn't like yell at me over text, but it was like her tone over text. I was like,
yeah, it was like the disappointed mom tone, wasn't it? It was the like,
no, more fury under it,
wow.
and like just the way she's texts all of a sudden, like she's worried about you, and it's my fault that you're in pain. Like I was like, let me just not respond for a minute.
Yeah, so things really got to the next level, dear listener. So I felt okay. Genuinely, I left Saul's house like feeling pretty good. I made it through the entire car ride. I was actually feeling great. Like I was cracking jokes, singing along to whatever was on the radio. We got home and my wife was like, actually, can you go do a Target pickup? And I was like, yeah, I feel great. I'm going to go do the Target pickup. Let's just say I'm no longer allowed at the Glassell Park Target. And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I do wonder. It's strange because I wonder how much the milkshakes played a role, like because you chugged 2 milkshakes, like 2 vanilla milkshakes.
Yeah,
and we know what they say about like you can't drink a gallon of milk or whatever without puking, and you didn't have that much necessarily. But like, I will say when when we had the bomb and had like a similar amount as you, painful as all fuck, terrible for 30 minutes. Then we went out drinking and we were fine. like no one suffered beyond that. I think the difference might have been the milkshakes, dude. I think that might have.
I think so too.
Also, haven't you been feeling sick or something? Like some ongoing stomach bug of some kind? Not to put you on blast, but I thought you had like a thing going on.
No ongoing stomach bug other than just like my regular eating levels are probably insane, so I just feel sick most days of the week, right? But no.
Maybe get that checked out. Just maybe get it checked out.
I figure I can do this until like I'm 40, then I've really got to start like reconsidering my life decisions. Anyways, speaking of reconsidering my life decisions, I paid up another bet last night, and that was the Fantasy Top Chef bet. We finally made it to Baru, which was the winner's prize. Jesse Eats won our Fantasy Top Chef, and so we took her, you, and forking around the other contestant to the LA Times Restaurant of the Year, Baru. Saul, what were your impressions of the meal?
It was a good meal. Yeah, it was a solid meal.
Wow. Okay, this is the most tepid positive review I've ever heard.
No. It was legitimately the lobster dish we had was fucking amazing, really good. The pork collar dish that we all had, I thought was excellent as well. I just think, I think it's just an excellent place.
Yeah,
I think having it in the afterglow of Vespertine is tougher for Baru, unfortunately for me. Like, just I'm coming off like a real, and again, this is not shade at Baru. This is shine at Vespertine, which we talked about during that meal as well. When you're so blown, like your last meal out, my last meal out basically was like that, and I was so life changed. And this was just like, if I was coming from a couple, lunches at Tu Madre,
yeah,
and like going to Rita's downtown, and then I go to Baru, I'd be like, holy shit. But Vespertine, the afterglow remains a little bit.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I felt like it was surprisingly normal, you know what I mean? No, and it wasn't, because obviously like everything there is done so painstakingly. Like their fermentations are insane, and it really does come through in a lot of the dishes. I mean, probably one of the dishes that I think blew everybody away was the lobster dish you alluded to, which had both like a fried lobster and then also this like sort of like almost like play on a lobster soup next to it with like some like really crazy fermentations going on in there, including with beans, I want to say. And Yeah, just really interesting flavors that you don't get all the time. Yet and I think Jesse kept saying this, it all tasted like comfort food. Maybe not like our comfort food that we grew up with,
Right.
but it was just really comforting, and it like really like brought you in that way, and I really appreciated it. But yeah, dude, going to it on the heels of Vespertine, where we were just so like transported and excited, that was its one downfall to me.
Yeah, and again, no fault of Baru. I do think I went to like a pop up in Seattle that was like featuring fermented foods, right? And there's like a chef, I think like who used to work at Noma or something like that, who was like in Seattle and was working at Beast and Cleaver and was doing a lot of fermented food with his meats and stuff like that. I think fermented food might just be, I think it might be a little overrated, in my opinion. Like it's cool. It's interesting. It's cool. I just don't. I like when I eat something fermented, like the soup we have with the lobster. I was like,
Yeah.
interesting, okay, but like not like whoa. I'm not having like a white chocolate uni with port experience, right? Yeah.
Is it one for the heads? Like you really got to be like a fermentation head to like really get it and like it? Or is it kind of just like a flex, like on the part of the kitchen? Like, look how long we spent fermenting this shit in order to make it like the most interesting possible, and it really like appeals to like the nerds. You know what I mean? Like which one is it?
It's a little bit of an appeals to the nerds thing. I think things that are fermented end up sort of tasting the same to me. So it's like actually it's like not quite. It's not, I think, complex or whatever. I mean, again, to be clear, that's not the only thing they serve. They like the pork collar was fucking insane.
The rice dish.
The rice dish was amazing. So again, to the point of like comforting, complex, and yet like you know the experience is simple, but the dish is complex. Like that's all there. I love that rice dish. I love that. I mean, the was it scallop that we had, which also had fermented elements.
Yeah, the scallop was great. Yeah, there was also the dessert too.
Yeah. I just think that particular fermented thing is like I'm squinting at it a little bit.
Yeah, there were moments where I was like, this feels like just a lack of understanding on my part. Like literally it just felt like I am not smart enough to grasp this food at moments. But that said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I have to say, at the price point of $115 for a tasting menu at the LA Times Restaurant of the Year, I'd say it's an incredibly good deal.
Yes, I mean that could also be the other afterglow of Vespertine was how much we paid for it, and so maybe yeah.
Well, no, dude, it's the afterglow of going out to dinner in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Like we went out to Quispaca for Valentine's Day, and it was a fantastic meal. But we didn't even get like the super expensive steaks, and we still paid like just as much as we paid at Baru, right? So it's literally just like what you're paying for dinner these days,
right?
And to get this kind of an experience, I'd say it's one of the best value tasting menus in the city.
Yeah, no, like a really delightful night. I also realized I really like the Arts District, man. Coming back to LA, like I liked it back in the old days too, but like I really vibe with it. Really vibe with the Arts District. I like being there, like walking around. I like the vibe of Baru and many of the restaurants there, and yeah, it's a delightful night.
Yeah, the Arts District is cool right now, especially because they've got a lot of cool things that even on like, we went on, what was it, a Tuesday night?
Yeah.
It felt extremely vibrant, right?
Dude, I literally, when I was looking for parking, like as we got there, I was like, is it Friday? What is going on? It was fucking packed.
Yeah. I mean, they got Prince Street Pizza, they got a Salt and Straw, which definitely means the neighborhood's gone. But like, it also means that there's excitement and people out and about like every hour of the day, basically. So yeah, definitely exciting place to be. Overall, do you have, after having had Baru, do you have any qualms with it being the 2024 Restaurant of the Year?
I don't think so, because again, I think the Restaurant of the Year is more than just like how good is the food. It's like, what does the restaurant mean in the moment, I guess. And I again, having not been in LA most of 2024, right? I'm like, all right, like Sure, I don't have any qualms. Great spot. Also, really cool story. I mean, part of the reason it was chosen, I think, too, was, and we talked about it with the staff there, like that the arc from being a strip mall spot doing comforting rice bowls only to doing like to the restaurateurs. I think they left, they did a trip, they came back, and they reinvented themselves, kind of post COVID.
Yeah,
I think that whole narrative is part of the reason it's recognized, and for good reason.
And shout out Natalia, by the way. She was our server and really killed it. Like I think they did a really great job. And also something that we really appreciated was on the menu, they list all the names of the people in the kitchen, all the names of the servers, and you had a strong reaction to that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like I've seen this a couple times now at like fine dining restaurants. I think it's like almost like the credits on a movie where, look, not everyone reads the credits. So I just think it's like a nice recognition at the very least to be like, hey, look, this is a team effort. This is like this was brought to you by all the people who provide our produce, by all the service staff, front of house, and back of staff. Like, I think that was a really nice touch. Also, by the way, great cocktail.
Yes. And I don't believe they have liquor, right? So they have to get like creative with like soju and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, yes, soju elements and like rice wine and wait, isn't soju rice wine? Whoops.
Yeah, it's Korean rice wine, but we'll let that slip.
Wait, is it? Korean rice? Yeah. Cut that out.
We are not cutting that out. We also had a bit of a celebrity cameo.
We did. The man himself. Was there, Bill Esparza.
Yeah, we were just minding our own business, and we noticed that over at the bar, legendary Bill Esparza is at the bar, and he came over and said hi, and I extended an invitation to him that he was a little lukewarm on.
Yeah. You invited him to go back to Via's Tacos with you, and dude turned to me and was like, he basically like looked at me and was like, Luca's too chicken shit to actually do that.
No, that's not how it went, dude. That's not how it went. This is how it went. So he comes to the table, and I'm like, by the way, did you see that Via's is now making barbacoa on the weekends?
Mm-hmm.
And he, expressed his skepticism over the barbacoa at Via's. And I said, let's go together. He kind of laughed, and he went back to dinner. He comes back later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, while he's saying goodbye, he's clearly thought about it, and he comes back and he says, you know what? He's too chicken shit to go to Via's.
Yeah.
So after thinking about it, he says that.
Yeah. He really sat on it. Yeah. And you were like, fair enough.
You think there's truth to that? I do not have the stones to go to Via's with Bill Esparza.
No. Either I think you totally would, if not due to the courage to do it, definitely due to the peer pressure that I could apply on you to go do it. I think I can nag you into going. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, hey, there's a couple news stories I'd love to talk to you about today. One was actually a piece in the New York Times, and it's titled, "A New York Restaurant, a Texas Farm, and Their Plant-Based Brawl." It's by Kim Severson, and the piece tells the story of a battle between two businesses called Dirt Candy. One is a New York vegan restaurant helmed by a well-known chef named Amanda Cohen, and the other a Texas-based farm owned by some pretty crunchy-sounding individuals. So the former owns the trademark of Dirt Candy and sent the farm in Texas a cease and desist letter, ultimately resulting in a protracted legal fight that really didn't do either brand any favors. Now, the reason I want to bring this up to you, Saul, because it seems like a very New York, Texas thing, right, is that something like this recently happened in Los Angeles too. Turk's Pizza Party has actually been at the center of documenting it. Basically, there's a famous New York pizzeria called Ruby Rosa. Have you heard of Ruby Rosa?
Nope.
So they're famous for this like really thin, almost like cracker crust pizza. I actually had it for the first time last year. And their sort of claim to fame is that they do a tie-dye pizza. It's basically like a vodka sauce pizza with like a pesto swirl on it. And it looks tie-dye adjacent, right? They have been sending cease and desist letters to Los Angeles pizzerias who have been also doing tie-dye style pies, right? So Angel City Pizza received one. I think Truly and Dana Point or Tribute down in San Diego, one of the two, they received a cease and desist letter. Pie Trap, I want to say, in Covina. Basically, Turk's Pizza Party got all up in arms about this, being like, how dare you send cease and desist letters to these pizzerias as they are literally like feeding first responders still from the wildfires, being like, kind of like, read the room here. How dare you like do this?
I have a question. Wait, is the cease and desist that the pizzeria is sending because these other pizzerias are calling it tie-dye pizza, or just for them making and posting pictures of a pizza with vodka sauce and pesto sauce spirals?
So I believe the cease and desist letter, which Turk's Pizza Party shared, said like, please refrain from making a vodka style pizza with the pesto swirl known as the tie-dye pizza. So it was both about the pizza itself and the way that it's made and sort of the stylistic way that it's made and the name tie-dye pizza. That just happened. I think Ruby Rosa walked back their cease and desist letters. I think the owner claimed that they didn't know about it, that it was basically like some like aggressive lawyers who like sent the cease and desist letters. But, when I read this story in the New York Times, it reminded me of the situation. Of course, it reminded me of the David Chang chili crunch situation from last year. So we're not lawyers, obviously. What do you make of all these cease and desist letters over food?
Well, the two things can be true. One, and I think each of these cases are maybe slightly distinct. I don't think they're all like equivalent in their dynamic. The ability to protect someone's intellectual property, I think, is important. I guess I don't have like a deep opinion one way or the other, but it seems important, right? So that when you create something, you have ownership over this. This is the whole conversation with fucking AI right now, right? Like because if you could just like take people's work and their original ideas, that's bad. Dirt candy is just a naming thing, right? It's like the trademark of a name, right? Chili Crunch is like a trademark that Dave Chang got for their product, and that they had to enforce, like, and because when you have a trademark, you have to force it if other people use it, got in trouble for sending it to folks who had been using Chili Crisp or other related terms for years. And the tie-dye pizza, I don't know the details on. I think it's because other people are using the term tie-dye. I think it's a case-by-case basis. I think like really it is. I think it's who is trying to take the idea. Like think about, you know what this reminds me of a little bit? It reminds me of Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
Right? And like them like kind of like aping and or stealing product ideas from small producers as a big company and rebranding it. To me, that should be that I think is a fair, I don't know how it works, right? But like in that dynamic, I think the smaller company, if they had a trademark, should feel totally justified in trying to protect it, right? And that's why that is a good thing. Should they have it? In these other cases, like Dave Chang, for example, after he was called out for this, I think had maybe one of the better solutions, which is, look, we got like to protect the trademark, we have to apply it. But basically, if you like hit us up and we'll give it to you for basically nothing.
Yeah, we'll give it to you for like $1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. Like that's like, I think relatively good stewardship of privatization of ideas and like protecting them intellectual property. Right. That's like a kind of fair way to do it.
Yeah.
The dirt candy one, the dirt candy thing, these folks in Texas who clearly pitched the piece.
Yeah. They did, yeah.
They pitched the piece. They came from Silicon Valley. They like got woke.
That's a really interesting point, right? These Texas farmers who like want you to think that they're like, like mom and pop, we own a farm.
We're just the crunchy farm folks in this little red state Texas. It's like you're not red, you're from Silicon Valley.
Yeah. They moved there during the pandemic to basically like, touch grass and start a farm.
I literally got fucking terrible vibes from this family. I was like, this is a really, I just did not, I mean.
Be careful, they might sue us.
Right. Yeah, for real. Right. Like the total like fake woo woo, like, oh, we're like trying to leave the rat race in the Matrix, but you're like totally in it. Like libertarian, but also like entirely reliant on like the U.S. Patent Office.
Dude, they're so far up RFK Jr.'s ass. I'm telling you right now.
100%. And so in that case, like, so they were the ones who were, sent the cease and desist by the owner in New York, who was, by the way, who was told by her lawyers that she needed to act, right? She's like, send them the nicest possible cease and desist, kind of Dave Chang vibes, right?
Yeah.
And even I will say, she said the nicest thing. Lawyers are lawyers, and when they had the quote from what the cease and desist lawyer said, and I was like, "This is a bitchy cease and desist."
Yeah, I think even like nice lawyer translates to super passive aggressive human.
Yeah, exactly. Like a huge dick. Nice lawyer. So I don't know. We're just like talking through scenarios. It's weird that we have to take things that are pretty public goods like Chili Crunch or Chili Crisp as an idea, or the term dirt candy, and like privatize them. But you do it to, I guess, to protect people. I'm sure there's like a whole system of, and I'm guessing John Oliver has done some special on it about how like the U.S. Patent Office and IP is all fucked up.
Yeah. Well, no, but it is. But I think what you're getting at is this was definitely in like the David Chang defense of the situation. There is like a don't hate the player, hate the game argument, right? If you want to like have a patent on something, part of the rules are you have to show the U.S. Patent Office or whatever it's called that you are enforcing it. You have to like show them that you are sending cease and desist letters to people that are doing it, that you are basically protecting that intellectual property. So when you get like a Ruby Rosa sending pizzerias in Los Angeles cease and desists about their tie-dye pizzas, you can make the argument that they're just, I almost can buy that like the owner of Ruby Rosa doesn't know that, because the lawyers are just trying to do their part to like make sure that the patent stands up, right? it's just like you got to be really careful as a business owner that you know to some extent what your lawyers are doing, in my opinion, because it's really easy to like get yourself into a controversy like this where you look like the bad guy. It reminds me actually of the U.S. Olympic Committee. Back in 2012 at the London Games, the U.S. Olympic Committee got into hot water because there was a group of knitters on Facebook.
Oh, I remember this.
They were trying to support Team USA, and they were knitting like scarves for like athletes and stuff, and like socks and like whatever. And the like a really enthusiastic lawyer sent like a cease and desist letter to this knitting group being like, please stop using U.S. Olympic, trademarks, basically. And, what ended up happening is huge New York Times story. And I think that the headline was like the USOC knits itself into a controversy, just because what's the saying? The head didn't know what the hand was doing. Basically like different parts of organizations operating. I think it's incumbent on business owners to be like, hey, totally down to enforce this patent, but there's a few things we're not going to do. And here's what we're not going to do, basically.
Or here's how we're going to enforce it, right? Which is like what Dave Chang had to go and retroactively do, right? Yeah. I'm reading a lot of New York Times lately, and I think there's just like this total style of like this article pretends to be something about like, ooh, the dynamic between like the urban litigious overreach versus like a small farm in Texas. And it's like a human drama story, right? Human interest story. And it's like, just like two like kind of like interesting dynamic, like people / families going against each other. I just like can't get over this Texas family who sound the most pretentious, annoying people of all time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was actually thinking this would make for a good like Ryan Murphy show, and I was thinking about who would play them. I think that the owner of the ranch in Texas would be played by like Ethan Hawke with a beard. Like that's who I'm seeing for it.
Oh, I almost like Ethan Hawke too much to like want him to do that, but I bet he'd be good at it. Yeah. What about the son who was like surfing in Bali selling like produce or something like that? What was he doing?
Is that Kieran Culkin?
That's Kieran Culkin. Yes, it fucking is. He's the one who like made the farm, right? And it's like, I don't want people owning the air I breathe. And it's like, just don't use the name. Just like that's the funniest thing too, where it was like we like became like total hippies and like learned about like Ayurvedic techniques and like whatever, like became one with the earth. And then someone was like, hey, can you not use the name of my restaurant? They're like, fuck you, we're hiring a lawyer. It's like, I feel like you didn't totally absorb the lessons of this philosophy that you tried to adopt.
I think you can take the boy out of Silicon Valley, but you can't take the Silicon Valley out of the boy. And that is the fundamental problem. All right, one other news story I wanted to cover today, and that is an article you actually sent me, but that I've seen circulating on social media. And that is a really good article in Grub Street by Elizabeth G. Dunn called Restaurants Leaving Resy for OpenTable. And it's basically about how OpenTable has had a huge resurgence and is now kind of starting to eat Resy's lunch. Saul, why did you send me this?
Just because I thought it was interesting. This is like, you know how I'm like weirdly into learning about the ins and outs of like Hollywood entertainment business, like the business behind Hollywood. I like just listen to The Town and The Watch and all these podcasts. To me, this is like an interesting like almost business competition story between OpenTable and Resy. And I will say for the record, like it seems very New York centric because the stories we've seen about Resy and OpenTable in the past and the dynamic between them have been about how like Resy in particular a couple years ago or last year is used in New York, right? How Resy is the hot app and like where people are selling reservations and so on and so forth, which I know is also happening on OpenTable. But it did seem, as the article says, like that Resy had eaten OpenTable's lunch initially, become the hip app for making reservations. And then OpenTable, using a series of tactics and outreach and charm offensives to cool new restaurants, has now taken that mantle back from Resy. Just like an interesting kind of like, I don't know, business dynamic.
It is interesting. I don't actually think it's New York centric because I think the reporter was using New York restaurants because obviously Grub Street is part of New York Magazine, right? So it kind of makes sense that they're doing New York examples. Yeah. I would be shocked if the same thing isn't happening in Los Angeles. I feel like a couple years ago, anytime you wanted to go to a hot new restaurant, you would have to go to Resy. But recently, I have been noticing that a lot of restaurants I'm trying to make reservations at are using an OpenTable instead. And I don't have a list in front of me of like restaurants that have made the switch or the switch back. But like I have noticed that OpenTable is a lot easier to use these days, that it's like, obviously it's got their own version of like the notify feature, which Resy was really popular for. So I think that this is a story that's got legs outside of New York too. I think what I found interesting about it is like So Resy got bought by American Express, right? Like it sort of became like,
Yeah.
And people said that's kind of when it started going downhill, when it started getting glitchier and stuff.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminded me of like the infatuation getting bought by JP Morgan Chase.
Yep.
And it's like all of these like major corporations trying to like get into the food world, right? Because they see the food world as having something to offer their customers, specifically these credit card companies who want to give their customers like some rewards, right?
Yeah.
And part of me is like, well, that fucking sucks because like everything just becomes super corporate and like, you know, that comes with its downsides. But on the flip side, we're always talking about how there's not enough money in this industry and we need it like infused. We need that cash injection for these like services to be like successful, right? I'm not exactly sure how to like square that circle and whether I think this is a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, it's an interesting trend to watch, right? Yeah, and you're right. Specifically credit card companies coming in and using food apps or food media as ways to provide their customers other perks, which will entice them to the credit card, right? It seems like Chase and the infatuation have done a really good job from what I can tell. Like, it seems like that has been a good and like good, whatever synergistic business term, blah, blah, like match, right? But yeah, I've never liked the Resy
Why?
UI. I've never liked it as much as OpenTable. I don't know. I don't like the way you search. I don't like where I've never been a fan. I've used it when I've had to, but like I don't like it as anywhere near as much as OpenTable.
Now, are you using desktop or app?
App.
Really? Okay, I was gonna say because I feel like the Resy app for a long time was so much stronger than the OpenTable app.
I've never liked it more than OpenTable. I'm an OpenTable boy.
You are just like, are you like, you're so analog.
Yeah, that's kind of I was about to say, it's kind of like, remember those old, maybe you weren't in America for this, but like the Mac versus PC ads when they had like a cool like young Justin Long was like Mac and he's like, hey, I'm so cool and like hip, and the loser a PC guy who was like in a suit, like a tan suit or whatever, looks like a loser. I feel like I just gravitate towards tan suit PC guy. like those kinds of things are like kind of my thing. So OpenTable, what's up?
The other thing I found interesting in this article is they interviewed the new CEO of OpenTable who's sort of overseen the resurgence, right? And they asked her like, what is your secret to success? And, you know, reading between the lines, she was basically just like, I just did everything Resy did.
And also, I mean, but to the point about the credit card company coming in, American Express, it seems like at the same time as OpenTable is like taking all of Resy's best ideas, Resy has also stagnated, right? And has failed to like...
Well, that was the accusation. But interestingly, the Grub Street reporter did talk to like a senior person at Resy, and I just had flashbacks of like prepping executives for interviews, right? And being like, here are the tough questions that you're going to get asked. And the tough question they were asked is, why are you stagnating? And actually, their talking points were, we're not stagnating. We've hired way more developers than ever before. We're constantly rolling out new features. They talked about a couple new features that they added. So, you know, there is an element sometimes of reporters just wanting to tell a story. Mm-hmm. This could be an example of maybe OpenTable has made innovations, but maybe Resy hasn't actually fallen off as far as we think it has.
Right. I mean, well, the game here is ultimately like, where do restaurants decide to go?
Yeah.
And it seems like OpenTable is winning the charm offensive to get like the cool, desirable restaurants back onto their platform.
Yeah. Another great part of this piece was when they were talking about that conference, which I think is actually Will Guidara's conference, the guy from 11 Madison Park whose book we're reading. And it's like the hospitality conference in New York, and it's sponsored by Resy. And what OpenTable did is they sent like like an unmarked bus to the event and was like, this is for the after party. And everybody just assumed it was like part of the event, but it was actually like a adjacent like OpenTable event that was really cool that they brought people to win people over. Really smart, man.
That's fucking badass. That's see, like cool. It's like cool corporate, like whatever backstabbing, just like corporate espionage kind of shit.
It's giving Succession.
Yeah. But it's giving competence Succession, which is not in the spirit of that show. But
well, hey, those are the major news stories I want to cover today. You got time for a quick round of Chef's Kiss, Big Miss?
Let's do it, baby.
All right. LA Times deputy food editor Betty Halleck covers covered an effort led by cookbook author Molly Baz called Stock That Pantry. It's a grocery pop-up for people who lost everything in the Palisades and Eaton fires. Baz herself lost her home and said that she did this after realizing just how hard it is to build a pantry from scratch. She actually leveraged her influencer powers for good, reaching out to brands she'd collabed with in the past and got a resounding yes from most of them in terms of donating product. Saul, this is an easy one, but is Stock That Pantry a chef's kiss or a big miss?
I assume you just put this in here to shout out the work because it's like, okay, yeah, obviously it's not a question you need to ask.
No, you could have been like, if you need to restock your pantry, you're doing something wrong. Like you could have zagged.
If your house burned down and you therefore need to restock your pantry, you've done something wrong. I don't know how that logic follows. It's a cool idea. Shout out to Molly Baz. What this made me think about, and I know people have talked about this, but like I want to talk about it again. Do you remember how badly Bon Appetit fumbled the bag on this shit?
On Molly Baz?
Yeah, Molly Baz, Sola, I'm pretty sure Krishna, that dude Brad, I don't know where he is now. Like, that whole thing, they used to have, like, they were set up to dominate food media, particularly on YouTube, through the 2020s. Like, they had the most talent, like, they had a stacked cast, and they were beloved in COVID, and they just fumbled that shit because I think their guy was a bad person and they didn't pay or whatever, or had cancelable stuff.
Oh yeah, they had a big
blow up. Yeah, big like meltdown.
Was it Me Too or George Floyd?
I think it might have been both, dude.
Wow.
I think it was I think that guy was like it was a really like an abusive workplace of some kind, and also like they just like weren't paying these like really competent and now like much more successful and well recognized talent who are now like the faces in all sorts of ways of the food the food landscape. So I don't know. This has made me think of that. Shout out Molly Baz.
Is there some like SNL parallel to be made here?
How so?
I don't know. I'm just like SNL 50. I'm trying to like work the SEO. Like, could we say like like Bon Appetit is like.
You just want to say, hey, this is a food podcast. We talked about this stuff. Also, hashtag SNL50 for no reason.
Yeah. No, there's something there with like casts, successful casts, unsuccessful casts. Like I don't know. We'll workshop it.
I don't. This is like if Lorne Michaels like didn't pay any of his talent and also was like canceled for being like I think like racist and sexist. I don't want to like allegedly / I don't remember what the accusations were, and then like everyone left for that reason and SNL collapsed. That would be the analog.
Yeah.
That's I don't think what happens with SNL.
No, I don't think so. I think it's still going. Last time I checked. All right, next one. Sticking with the LA Times, friend of the pod Stephanie Brazier, who almost took your job last week, wrote a great roundup of the new vendors coming to Smorgasburg this year. These include Bond Baja Boba, a Desi boba operation, an inventive breakfast concept called Breakfast Dreams, a Lebanese concept called Teta, multiple new Caribbean stands, a Filipino-Texas mashup barbecue stand called Full Send Barbecue, a Karage stand, a Korean banchan stand, a Salvadorian stand, and a Thai night market-inspired stand called Bangkok Barbecue Bowl. Saul, do any of these sound like a chef's kiss to you upon first blush?
I got to make it back to Smorgasburg. I think I need to get back into barbecue, man. The Full Send Barbecue Filipino style I want to try. Solito's Barbecue, which is down at Smorgasburg, I want to try. Like,
what's that?
I follow them on Instagram or whatever. They're just like a cool Texas style barbecue, I believe. They look really good, and I've been following them for a while. They seem to be friends with Le Berg, which is a pop up that we want to try.
Now, is it Le Berg or LA Berg?
I don't know. Le Berg sounds cooler to me because but it might be LA Berg. I think Le Berg is. Sorry, LA Berg or Le Berg.
One that I want you to try is a spot called Battambang Barbecue. I had them at Coachella last year, but it's Cambodian meets Texas style barbecue, and it was legit, bro.
Dude, anything meets Texas style barbecue sounds great to me. Yeah, let's go to Smorgasburg, man. I need to get back.
All right, Smorgasburg recap. Okay, next one. Noreen Wasti wrote a recipe for lamb chop masala for taste, which delved into the question of why South Asian countries refer to goat as mutton when the rest of the Western world uses this word for sheep. The recipe, she says, is a version of a Pakistani dish called chop ka salan. How's my pronunciation?
Chop ka salan.
Okay.
Salin. Sorry, I messed it up too. Yeah. Salin, not salan.
Chop ka salan. Saul, is this Pakistani representation in food media a chef's kiss or a big miss?
I love it. This was a legitimate confusion point for me as a child.
Really?
Because people in my family would say mutton, and I would know, like, there was like a Sesame Street character named I thought it was like, or maybe it couldn't have been a Sesame Street character named Mutton. That sounds pretty dark, but like, I knew mutton in the U.S. as sheep, and people would say mutton in Pakistan, and I was like, oh, we're eating sheep, but we weren't. We were eating goat. I was confused back and forth. As a kid, I think I would tell people that we were eating sheep, and it was like, no, we're not. Anyway, or lamb, I suppose is the term you use. Yeah, no, this is awesome to see, and this dish looks great. I don't really make goat at home, and I could, like, you can go get goat.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Yeah, I just use beef typically, or chicken, right? Just like easier to eat. Goat is typical and to cook. But this Chapka Salan, damn it, Chapka Salan.
Chapka Salan. Sorry that I ruined your Urdu.
Yeah, it's Salan. Salan, by the way, is also like Salan is like Pakistani curry, right? When we ate like at home, my mom made Salan, not curry. So yeah, like to see it. Love to see it.
Noted. Okay, next one. In an interview with Eater, Great British Bake Off's Dylan Bachelet, and I apologize for butchering that name, claimed that his eclectic style on the show was actually not an accurate representation of how he dresses normally. He says, if I could have, I would have just worn all black. But there were so many restrictions on what we could wear. They wanted no branded clothes and lots of colorful clothes. So I was pulling out all of these things I hadn't worn in years from my closet. But it worked out, even though the outfits were definitely not for baking convenience. Saul is Dylan's alibi for his insane wardrobe on the show. A chef's kiss or a big miss? AKA, do you buy it?
I guess I do. I thought I'd read an article at some point during the season that was like that interviewed Dylan and talked about like his style and where he takes inspiration from, where he was like much more like owning this. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they didn't. I was trying to find it. I couldn't find it. I buy it, I guess. Except this is not real. My thought reading this was, because we know Dylan is now in a kitchen, right? Like he got a job at a Michelin star kitchen, and I was like, what if he's getting bullied? What if he's getting bullied in the kitchen, and he's trying to be like, no, that wasn't me. I'm cool. I just wear black. I wouldn't have worn all that crazy shit. I'm not like an attention seeker. No, I'm just like I had a flash of this thought, and I was like, I hope he's okay. Sweet guy. I trust him. Like he would never tell a lie,
no.
Dude. Dylan from this season of a Great British Bake Off. No, I'd trust anything he said.
I don't, and here's why. Because like, yes, maybe you weren't allowed to wear black. Maybe you had to pull old things out of your closet. But some of the choices made were so out there. This was not done out of necessity. You did not need to wear like a Picasso-style painter's hat. Like that was not part of and that was black.
he knew, but he's just like he's a stylish guy. I think he just, even if he was like going, I mean, look, it's crazy. Like he had like the Johnny Depp, like cool, like he looked like a Jedi in one of those things. Like he like, if you have these outfits, like you're not just wearing like a black t-shirt, like when you go out, like you use these, I think, in your day-to-day life to some extent. You know how to use them, but I was a big fan of his style. I wish he'd own it more. I wish he'd be like, yeah, this is who I am. But I also understand that I totally believe that GBBO production was like, hey, we're something eye-catching, right? They like, the fashion is part of that show, so I fully believe it.
Biggest choke in Great British Bake Off history?
Well, I didn't in the article it said like, or maybe a different one that I read, he was basically like, I cooked 15 successful things ever in my life before the show. I sent them in, they brought me in, and then as the show went on, and I was like, and like I basically was like practicing new stuff that week, I got worse. I fully believe, right? Because baking, as we know, is like a paint by numbers art, and he like I think anyone could do it. And some of the stuff is more complicated, but he's basically like, I tried a couple things, it sort of worked. Turns out I'm like the best baker almost. So it's not like a joke. It's like, hey, anyone could wake up and basically do this with the talent. I mean, he's an artistic talent, right? And clearly has like those skill sets. But I wouldn't call it a biggest choke. On the show, it seems that way. But given the context that, one, he doesn't even give a shit about baking. He just wants to be a chef. And two, he'd like baked 10 like successful things in his life, which is a number that I've baked in my life. Like, and just went on the show. No, I call him a prodigy, a talent, and a baking truther.
Wow.
Because he shows just how straightforward this really is.
I think you just see yourself in him, and he just vindicates all your like weirdly bigoted takes on baking.
What do I see myself? How do I see myself in him? Oh, because he didn't try very hard before going on. I mean, he definitely tried hard, but he didn't do that much baking before going into Bake Off.
Yeah, and his implicit disdain for baking.
Yeah. Or like the fact that he's like, this is like this is like my safety school, right? This is not my main interest.
All right, next one. SF Gates' Karen Palmer wrote a fascinating article on how she went to the Porsche Experience Center, where you get to drive a Porsche and you have to pay at least $750 to do it, but in return you also get to try what she calls one of California's most thrilling burgers. Saul is spending $725 to eat a burger. A chef's kiss or a big miss?
I'll call it a big miss. Karen, by the way, thank you to both Stephanie and Karen for subbing for me on this podcast in the past. They both are better than me at it, but like thank you for just popping in
and far more qualified,
more articulate, more qualified. Yeah, thank you to both of them. I would say it's possible, Karen, that the endorphins from the Porsche drive were still hitting when you ate the burger. I don't know. I wouldn't pay that much for a burger, but driving a Porsche sounds fun.
I'm a little upset about this, honestly, because I feel like now that Karen has covered this, I have a journalistic responsibility to go.
You have to go eat it.
So honestly, Karen, I might Venmo you $725 because I feel like this is on you.
I am more worried about you driving that Porsche, dude. I've seen you drive. You can barely handle a Fiat. Like, I'm a little... Maybe your wife can drive while you're eating the burger in the passenger seat.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, last one. And we've done a lot of these, but there were some good headlines this week. KFC is moving its headquarters from Kentucky to Texas. So is this brazen disregard for the Colonel's home state a chef's kiss or a big miss?
I don't care about this. I don't care.
You always need an I don't care about this and chef's kiss big miss.
Yeah. You always give me at least one.
I just thought, like, KFC, Kentucky, like, do we change it to Texas fried chicken? I thought maybe we could have had a conversation about the last time you had KFC. There were some interesting tangents to go down here.
I haven't had KFC KFC is like dark, man. I haven't had it in a long time. Popeyes, I have had Popeyes like within the last year, but KFC.
Last time I had KFC was to do the double down as a bit basically during the sandwich year.
Sandwich, right?
And I think I scored it like a 46%.
Oh, disgusting. Yeah.
It wasn't that bad, honestly. It lost most of its points because it doesn't technically have bread.
Yeah, sure. I just can't imagine that being good, dude. This is like the two chicken breast sandwich, like the breast or like whatever the thigh is, the
bacon in between two fried chicken breasts.
And cheese,
yeah,
right? And cheese?
Yeah.
No. I don't like it.
I'm gonna make you try it someday. All right, well that brings Chef's Kiss Big Miss to an end. Saul, I understand you finally have a shitty Yelp review of the week for us.
I do. It's a doozy. So as we discussed this past weekend, I was in Florida for my mom's 60th birthday celebration with a ton of family, right? From all and her friends from all over the world. We had Austrians there, we had Pakistani people there, we had people from wherever, right? It was like 100 people at this party. It was like wedding vibes. Like literally it was a 2-day event, like speeches, dances, like big catered dinners. It was a huge thing. Now, back in December, when me and my mom went to Mexico City for her my mom's been like spoiled for the 60th. I took her to Mexico City for her actual birthday, which is in December.
She's probably closer to 61 at this point.
Yeah, halfway there or whatever. She had basically said, it'd be really cool if you were engaged by my 60th birthday party in February because...
Holy shit, are you engaged?
No. And I was like, well, look, I mean... One, like because there's gonna be a bunch of family there, and we could like all celebrate together. And I was like, okay, cool. Like me and Emily, we've talked about it. We're going ring shopping. Like it's in the works. Like we wanted to get to LA, settle in. Like the plan was all there. I had the timeline. I explained this to her. I was like, by mid-February is unlikely because we got to do the shopping. I want to think about how I want to do it. Like I'm not gonna rush it for your birthday. I was very clear about this. I'm like not gonna, and like I don't know. We don't like to be the center of attention for any of this shit, dude. All weekend, I was just getting fucking roasted for this. I had aunties literally taking rings off their finger and be like, "You can give her this. Do it now." And I was like, "Nope, that's okay." First of all, say Emily was there. Emily's parents were there. We had a really lovely time. They like fit right in with the family. Like it was a real it was all great. And everyone was just giving me shit because they're like, "What are you doing, guy?" It's been 3 years, right, dude? On Saturday morning. We had a cruise, they rented a boat for like basically a morning booze cruise sort of deal. And on the cruise, my mom accosts me in front of Emily and her parents being like, what's going on here, man? What's the deal? Don't be wasting her time. And I'm like, you don't know what you're talking. Like it was like a semi-intense back and forth. Emily's parents fucking loved it. They're like, damn, Saul's mom's crazy. They're like, she's a force of nature. And I'm like, Mom, what is the deal? Then on Saturday night, the big night of the party, with speeches, with the dance that we were talking about earlier, they got a stage, they got a DJ, they got an MC, like all this stuff. My mom, this is like a really personal thing for my parents, I think, with having all the family there, which doesn't happen often. And also, it wasn't even all the family, but just a lot of us. She asked Emily if it would be okay for her, my mom did, if it would be okay for her to refer to Emily as her daughter-in-law there. Because I think it was like, so like, it's like a done deal, right? Like, and she was like, she's like, I don't know why you just happened, like, whatever, giving her, like, just made it official on, like, in, like, some half-assed way. Like, because she wants to, I think she just wanted to, like, be like, hey, look, my like, where we, like, this is a big news thing. My grandma's getting older, like, all this stuff. So she asked Emily if she can call her daughter-in-law. I think Emily says yes.
That's the proposal right there, bro. I'm telling you right now.
I'm getting there. But Emily literally said later, I think your mom proposed to me before you did. I was like, I hate all this. My dad is giving a speech at one point and is thanking everyone for coming. And he goes, Ed and Dot, Emily's parents are here. Emily's here. I don't know what to call her. But like he like literally puts me on blast in front of the whole family, being like, my son's just like, apparently, the impression is their son is dicking around and just like not proposing, which is not the case. It's not what's happening. Later, my mom comes up to the table, drops the hammer. She goes, I got a daughter-in-law today, and you got nothing.
Oh.
right to me and Emily, not in a mean way, but just like kind of just she just said it, and like to be clear, this is mostly friendly, all mostly in good fun.
Mostly the keyword there, because there's an undercurrent. There's an undercurrent of
intensity. Yeah, truth and intensity. And she just comes up and says it. Emily's dying. She's like fucking bar. She's been texting that line to like her, like her. I don't know. I guess like her brother and like my sister. I don't know. It's just like a real drop the mic line. Anyway, point is we're going ring shopping, and we picked up a family. Like, look, it's going forward, but I basically. Like, I don't even know if I did a good job of telling the story, but everyone I grew up with was kind of like, was basically roasting me for having a girlfriend like all weekend, like in front of hundreds of people.
Yeah.
Like,
this is giving, I don't know why, I'm just getting strong White Lotus vibes from this entire affair. Like, to the point where like I thought it was gonna end in like some weird like altercation, honestly.
Dude, it got close. It was when we had that confrontation on the boat, me and my mom. Like, Emily's parents were truly like, wow, that was wild.
Honestly, dude, I'm going to give... I honestly think you didn't really do much wrong in this situation.
The external branding, the external perception, I understand why...
Oh, your reputation's in the toilet. Reputation's half a star, yeah.
In tatters. Everyone thinks I'm it's like a fucking around, like, whatever. And I don't know. I feel it's very unjust.
You did not control the narrative. Yeah, you did not control the narrative effectively.
I did not control the narrative. I didn't even think I had to. I basically got cucked by my mom at her birthday party.
That is the greatest gift you could ever give her.
Okay. What? Anyway, it was a lot.
Yeah.
I gained a daughter-in-law and you gained nothing.
That's good.
That's gonna stay with me for a minute.
It's going on t-shirts. That's gonna go on t-shirts. I don't know, honestly. I just think it's 5 stars for your mom, and that's and your reputation.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, you haven't done yourself any favors with your reputation on this podcast, so you kind of like have a low starting point to begin with. So easy come, easy go.
I think 5 stars for my mom is the correct rating.
That's the correct rating.
5 stars to mom.
I was fully prepared for you to be like, and now I'm married.
I mean, dude, literally, my mom. Again, the intensity of this was like, on the boat Saturday after we had a Friday night event where it was dinner and speeches, and then we were on the boat Saturday, and she was like, "Why didn't you just propose yesterday?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? I don't want to propose in front of all like 60 people, half of whom I barely know or haven't seen in 10 years." She was just like get it over with. People were just like, oh my god, man, it was.
Be honest. Did you ever have a moment where you were like, I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid off and do it right now?
No, I never had that moment. I did have a moment where I was like, why the fuck did we just do it? We should just fucking done it to deal with all this. I'm very, to be clear, glad we didn't. We're going to do it right. We're going to have a dope ass proposal. We're going to do it all. It's going to be great. But In the moment, I was like, why did I let myself go through this?
Oh.
Like, why didn't I just get this over with?
5 stars for your mom. Your reputation remains in tatters. Listen, I've just got the text from my wife that it's time for us to wrap up as she is hungry. So, Father Saul, I want to say thank you for your time today, for joining us, making the time after all this time that you've been away. You've only been away a week. It feels like you've been away a lot more, but that's just because we miss you when you're not here, brother. Good job by you.
Don't say that anymore. Stop saying that.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the LA Food Podcast. Thanks to Father Saul, as always, for making the time for us. And thank you to you, dear listener. If you like what you heard here today, please go to wherever you listen to podcasts, leave us a rating, review, subscribe. Seriously, all that stuff is super helpful. We'll be back next week with another epic episode. But if you're looking for me in the meantime, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, and even our website at the LA Countdown. That's TheLACOUNTDOWN. You can also find us on Instagram at LA Food Pod. That's LAFOODPOD.